JFD, just fair and direct.
Okay, hello and welcome everyone. Welcome to JFD Traders Tea Time with me, Darius Anucauskas. Today's the 5th of August 2020, so yep, welcome everyone. Welcome to this Wednesday's afternoon session where we're going to have a quick look at the markets, a few of the charts that we looked at this morning just to see how everything's kind of getting along. Yeah, but before we do that, let's quickly have a read through our risk disclaimer. So, the content we produce does not constitute investment advice or investment recommendation, should not be considered as such, and does not in any way constitute an invitation to acquire any financial instrument or product. As always, a few seconds for you to read the rest and we can continue. Okay, so now then, also just before we jump into the charts, quick mentioning of our JFD YouTube channel, to which you can always subscribe to in order not to miss any of our upcoming videos, and of course our JFD Bank website, and specifically our JFD research page, which we also update on a daily basis. So yep, feel free to visit us here on jfdbank.com and click on the research tab right there on the top. Now, jumping into the charts. Now, the first one I want to pick up on here is the German DAX. To be honest, not much excitement. It still remains in this area where this morning I was saying that this will be our little kind of neutral zone for now, because in a way for us to maybe, let's say, start looking at some higher levels, we need to see at least a push above the 12,773 territory before we could, like I said, consider slightly higher levels. And in terms of the downside, we would need to see this one, the price falling all the way back below this downside line and ideally dropping below the low of last week near the 12,254 territory right here. And yep, such a break, such a move lower would confirm a forthcoming lower low, and yep, slightly lower levels could be met then. But we're a little bit further away from that area. We're closer to this barrier, the 12,773. So let's see how all this is going to play out. But yeah, for now, we cannot really do much because, like I said, it is kind of stuck here, and yep, we're waiting for that next good move. So jumping into NASDAQ 100 now. NASDAQ 100 created a new high yesterday, and previously it was the 11,085 zone, approximately around there. So let me just get rid of this highlighted area for now. So basically it kind of, we had this all-time high which was established not yesterday but the day before yesterday, on Monday, and that was on at 11,085 roughly. I'm talking about the main trading hours, the main kind of trading day, because the cash index did kind of push for even a little bit further north. So looking at this picture here, you can see that the price kind of reached the 11,098 territory yesterday, hit this new all-time high. Well, today actually we can see that the cash index is currently balancing above this level, above that yesterday's close. It is currently stuck near the 11,110 zone. So yep, that could be quite interesting. So we'll probably get a nice little kind of opening gap here to the upside. The cash index did travel a little bit further north today, and reached the 11,155 territory, roughly around there. But again, right now at this point in time, the index is around the 11,110 zone. So let's see if the buying can continue. But for now, we are still bullish on this one, because in a way we didn't get a correction, any signal for a possible correction, a larger correction here to the downside. Now previously I talked about this this idea of a range here, but as you can see, the upper bound of the range got violated, and then that's why I've got rid of it. So now we're focusing mainly on slightly higher levels, unless this suddenly starts pushing further north here, or should I say, sorry, and the other way around, unless it starts pushing somehow back below the below this little area right here. Let me just remove this very quickly. So the 10,000, or should I say even 11,000 mark, if it starts falling back below the 11,000 mark, then yep, maybe we could consider a bit of a larger correction to the downside. Now, if we look at the ADP number that came out actually just a few minutes ago, it came out much worse than the forecast. Now, the forecast was already on a lower side, almost 3 times lower than the previous number at around 1.5 million, but the actual number that came out on the ADP non-farm employment change figure, on the employment change reading, it came out at 167,000. So basically, not a very good number. Of course, well, let's see if the if investors actually get spooked by that, or will they actually wait for the main figure on Friday, the non-farm payroll, which of course for now is also expected to come out on a slightly lower side, but yep, as we know, some market participants do like to kind of gauge their expectations and use the ADP number to kind of try and gauge the non-farm payroll number. So of course, I strongly recommend not doing that. Instead, wait for the actual release and then do something about it, because again, we did have surprises in the past, so that's why I'd be very careful with this kind of methodology. So, but from the technical side, once again, if the index starts pushing back below the 11,000 territory, then maybe we could see a bit of a correction here towards this 21-day EMA. But again, for now, it's still looking quite strong. So let's see if this one can reverse again to the upside, and I'm talking about the cash index right now, and we could see this one pushing further north again. Now, jumping into gold. Now, gold is rocking it today, and look at this move here. Now, this morning, initially this morning, I was saying that gold has reached its all-time high near the 2031 level. Now, it continues to rally, and as you can see here, gold managed to reach the 2045 area, approximately around there. Didn't quite really hit exactly the 2045 zone, just a few ticks below it, but nevertheless, we'll continue monitoring this. And this is what I was talking about this morning, basically saying that if we get a further push above that 2031 territory, then yes, we will aim for some higher levels, because at the moment the only thing we can do here is we just can monitor these recent highs, and if we do get an overshoot above that, then yes, of course this kind of confirms a new all-time high, but we cannot really find a good ceiling for this one here. Of course, some might say maybe the 2100 level or maybe 2200 level could be a good scenario. Yes, could be, but there is a possibility to see a bit of a correction here first before kind of, let's say, seeing those levels. But again, it will all come to the dollar index as well, because for now the dollar index is declining. I'll get to that point in a bit, but with gold, guys, if you're on the short side, then well, I suggest be very careful right now with those shorts, because again, we didn't get really a signal, a reversal signal, so probably stay away from those shorts. Now, jumping into Brent oil, and look at this beautiful move. I talked about this commodity this morning, and I was saying that in a way, if we get a nice break above the 45.20 territory right here, then yes, there could be a possibility to see a further move higher, especially if it also pushes above the 200-day EMA. And look at what's happening right now. It is making its way higher. It is making its way above the 200-day EMA. So basically, there is a possibility for this one to continue pushing further north, especially if today's daily candle remains above this barrier, above this 45.20 zone and the 200-day EMA. So keep your eyes on that one. In case this somehow reverses sharply to the downside and ends the day below this 45.20 territory, then maybe the bulls are not ready yet to drive this one higher, and we could see a bit of a correction back down. But again, for now, everything's looking quite positive. If it stays here above this 200-day EMA, the next target for me is the 48.42 level, marked by the lowest point of February this year. lowest point of March, 2nd of March. Let me just reiterate that a little bit. The lowest point of February was just kind of around here somewhere, but the low of the 2nd of March, that's the target that I'm going to be aiming for if the commodity remains, if this daily candle stays above this 200-day EMA. Now jumping into DXY that I mentioned earlier, and look at this beautiful move to the downside. This is what I was talking about in the beginning of this week, because what I was saying, that if this barrier in the 93.81 level gets broken and we see a nice daily candle staying above it, then yes, we could aim for a bit of an upside here, but it didn't have anything like that. It did get an overshoot, but didn't really close above it. So what's happening right now, as you can see, this is the result of that failure to kind of move above this barrier, above this 93.81 zone, and now we're getting a decline. However, we're not going to jump into those shorts yet, because again, we would prefer to see a drop below the low of last week here, which is around the 92.55 zone. A drop below this area would confirm a forthcoming lower low, and yep, further declines could be possible. But again, for now, we're watching it carefully, because what we also don't want, we want to be very careful about is if, for example, this drifts lower, makes a break here, but then actually fails to close a daily candle below this area. Now this is where we will have ourselves a nice false breakout, and potentially maybe this could lead to a reversal back to the upside. We're basically forming a nice double bottom pattern here, with the neckline exactly near this 93.81 zone. So this is how it could work out as well, but again, we'll keep this as our second scenario. For now, the focus is on the lowest point of last week, the lowest point of July as well, near the 92.55 zone. A break below it would confirm a forthcoming lower low, and further declines could be possible, especially if the daily candle remains below it. Now, quick update on the Litecoin. I haven't looked at this one for quite a while, but as you can see, it continues to move nicely to the upside. It got a few breaks here, important breaks. It moved above the highest point of June here, near the which is at around 50.13 level. It continued to push further north. Actually, let me recycle one of these lines here. So it continued to push further north, overcame the highest point of April here, which was just slightly above that June high. And as you can see, even when we had this little kind of correction on Sunday, it still didn't really reach this key resistance, previous resistance, now support area, and then we had a nice reversal back to the upside. Of course, all this is looking quite positive. Probably the bulls are enjoying this. However, if you're new, if you're trying to kind of capture again a nice swing here, but to be honest, it would be better to kind of probably wait at least for a push above this little barrier right here, the 62.17 territory, and then kind of aim for some higher levels. But even so, the current highest point of August, near the 65.08 level, is the one to watch, because it might provide resistance, good resistance, and we could see maybe this one reversing back down. So in other words, if we get a push above the 62.17 territory, yes, it could open the door towards slightly higher levels. But the main excitement could come here after a break of the current highest point of August, near the 65.08 level, and then yes, we could go for a higher high, and the next target for us could be somewhere around here. Let me just quickly mark this one on the chart. That's the high of the 23rd of February of this year, and that's roughly around the 80.27 zone. So let's keep an eye on that one. In terms of the downside, we would actually probably wait for a drop below the this little territory right here, the highest point of April and the highest point of June, and then kind of aim for some lower levels, because at the same time the price would be placed back below the 200-day EMA, and maybe more sellers could see this as a good opportunity to step in. Jumping into USD CHF very quickly. So the pair is drifting lower. It is you can see now testing this support area that I talked about previously, this 0.9073 territory, which is, by the way, the lowest point of, let me just go back into history here, the lowest point of May of 2015. So in a way, if we get a further decline here below and we see the daily candle remaining below this area, then of course we could start looking at some other lower levels here, one of which could be around here, guys. Let me just try to capture this one very carefully. It's a very difficult one. There we go. That's this little inside swing high near the 0.8837, that inside swing high of the 20th of January 2015. So but for that, of course, in order to consider that level, we need that daily close below it. But however, similar story as with the DXY. Let's see if this doesn't actually form a double bottom here. So but again, for now we're just watching this and we're gonna see if this is gonna actually make a false breakout as it did here on the 31st of July. If it does, and if it retraces back up here again, then yep, we could see a nice probably reversal back to the upside. Now jumping into GBP USD very quickly, the pair is doing everything what I was talking about on Monday. It did retrace, and now it's pushing higher. It's trying to make its way towards that 1.32 zone. That's our target for now, the 1.32 level, which is marked by the highest point of March of this year. So that's what we're going to be aiming for now. If that gets broken, that's that's wonderful. So a forthcoming higher high would be confirmed. Yes, again, be very careful near this level. Let's see if it can actually overcome it. But for now, like I said, I'm aiming for this 1.32 zone. Now, another interesting pair, and this is the euro against the Turkish lira, and the Turkish lira is declining heavily against its European counterpart. You can see that it overshot its previous all-time high, which was reached in July here, and the last day of July near the 8.3015 mark, approximately there. So now the pair continues to rally, and well, I mean, for now everything's looking not really good here. Of course, don't get me wrong, we'll keep an eye on it today. We'll see if this daily candle remains above this level here, the 8.3015 zone. If it does, then yep, well, I mean, the sky's the limit for now for this one. Maybe it could even travel all the way towards that psychological 9 level, but again, for now we cannot really do much here, and we can just continue observing it. For now, everything's kind of looking very bad here for the Turkish lira against the euro. And jumping into Euro USD finally. So Euro is popping nicely to the upside, and yep, we are seeing a nice move here. The Euro dollar is making its way back to the last week's high near the 1.1909 zone. So I talked about this pair in all of my videos recently. So basically, I was saying that if it gets back above the 1.1815 level, then yes, we will aim for the upside. We'll aim for that highest point of last week near the 1.1909, and of course, then if that gets broken, then yes, this would confirm a forthcoming higher high, and we will just probably start aiming for that 1.1996 zone, or just slightly above that. We do have the psychological 120 zone, which could be an attractive one as well. Also, something for you to keep in mind is that, for example, if this 1.1909 level does provide resistance, and then we could maybe see this one reversing back down here, and potentially we could be seeing a possible range here. So we do have we almost have our lower bound here formed. We only need a rejection here near this 1.1909, and then a nice reversal back down. So basically, then we'll have ourselves a possible nice wide range here. But again, for now, it's just an idea, something for you to keep in mind. For now, the pair is moving nicely towards this 1.1909 level. Let's see if it can overcome it. If it can, then let's see if the daily candle can stay above it, because what we don't want to see here is a false breakout. Basically, a lot of traders might get excited on the break here and then get caught out if the candle somehow then gets pulled back here. So yeah, then it will be a little bit of a disappointment for those buyers. So that's why be very careful. Wait for that daily confirmation here and above this 1.1909, and then we could aim for some higher levels. For now, we're just aiming for this 1.1909. I do understand it's only a few pips away, but nevertheless, let's be on the safe side, guys. So I hope you found it useful, and thank you very much for watching and listening, guys. I really appreciate your time. So if you wanna join my videos tomorrow, we'll start off, of course, with my Traders Espresso, 6 o'clock GMT time. But for now, guys, I hope you have a wonderful evening. Stay safe, and I'll see you tomorrow. Thank you very much, and bye-bye.